I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
All right, we're here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rick and Morty After Show.
I'm really sorry about that.
What are you talking about? We were just talking.
The studio was invaded by time-traveling Terminator snakes.
Yeah, we had to get rid of them really quickly. They were kind of hard to take down. It was difficult.
Yeah, one of them was fairly normal and was appealing to my human taste, but then we killed it too.
Yeah, he bit one in half for all of you listening at home and not watching the YouTube.
So if you're still watching this, which is all one of you, this is not the episode.
No.
This is us talking about it or hissing like snakes and being general cringy motherfuckers. But who are you? Person who could be me on paper.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vito, also known as Dark Steven. Good to meet you.
Dark Steven. He's got black hair. That's the
I
only
got black
thing.
hair.
That's the only way you can tell us apart.
Yeah.
We both have black jackets. We're both white guys with beards and glasses, and we wear headphones, and we say dumb shit.
And we talk about Rick and Morty.
Exactly. And Vito's sick of that joke, but he hasn't said anything on air about it yet.
That's okay.
So we're going to go ahead and break down Rattlestar, Ricklactica, which is season 4, episode 5, which I can't believe the season's already over.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's coming back in 2020, but...
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of things are coming back in 2020. It is the end of 2020.
I really hope Team Cheerios and Oreo O's come back in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, man. I didn't even think about that.
Waffle Crisp, 2020.
What about snakes?
What about Trump? I got you.
Anyway, what about snakes? So
let's talk snakes. So Morty leaves the ship. The fucking asshole. I like the reference to gravity.
Yeah, when somebody floats off into space and Rick's like, I've seen that one too many times.
Yeah, when you have two people outside the spaceship, one's gonna float off in space. I've seen that movie.
Yeah, well, I've seen it 0 too many times. Never seen Gravity.
Well, let me tell you, everything's in space.
Yeah, everything.
Literally
is in space.
everything is in space.
Yeah, space snake.
So Morty leaves the ship, gets bitten by a space snake, which is their one string of hope to this entire planet.
And I guess that snake planet, that was their version of snake gravity, was somebody that just the snake just flew off from something and was just there.
It looked like it was actually moving through space, like with intention.
Bit.
Yeah, I think this was kind of great because I love the comment where it's like, well, your civilization isn't going to go far if your first instinct with your first contact is to bite him in the ankle.
Yeah. And it didn't. Well, it went far only because of the interaction that it had with what it bit in the ankle.
Yeah, Morty was upset. Rick manages to save his life. We learned that the snake planet is at war with itself because of, get this, racism. Which is funny because when you look at any species, there are things that you can tell them apart with. Look at birds. There's tons of birds, but they're all birds. Look at penguins. Like, penguins, if you put a bunch of different species of penguins together, they might end up going to war and killing each other over things, but they're all just penguins. Kind of reminds me of another species we've all heard about.
Snakes.
Humans.
No.
Humans.
I don't know what that is.
I think this is an allegory for humans.
I don't know if you're right with that.
Where humans, for some reason, we're all the same species, but let's say because of the color of our skin, we have issues.
Man. Sucks that racism exists.
It's just kind of dumb.
It is.
It's really dumb.
It is definitely dumb.
Really, really dumb.
Yeah, and then certain humans think they're better than other humans because of the color of their skin. What's with that? And then we get Nazi snakes, which is basically that.
Yeah, with more
intention,
governmental policy.
Yeah. I prefer the space snake, honestly. Let's just keep the snakes in space.
Snakes in space. I liked Abraham Lincoln Snake. Abraham Lincoln Snake was pretty great until Abraham Lincoln Snake became fascistisch.
Yeah.
Bist du fascistist? One of these snakes basically were starting their own universe that could have been crossed over in the first episode of this season.
That's very true. I guess I didn't think about it that way, but you're definitely right. And it seems like the default is still fascism for some reason.
Exactly. So Morty kills their last hope, but he feels bad. So when they get back, he steals the car. And I loved the pet shop scene. It's like, do you have any snakes that, just wonder if there's more out there?
Yeah, those ones with the reg tags on them. Yeah, those I definitely saw them do that once or twice.
Any of the snakes above $50 look off into the unknown, wondering.
See, what I was wondering with all this is like, why did he draw the markers on the back of the snake? Was it because it kind of looked similar to the other one, or was it just like, because that was one thing that was never touched upon.
What are you talking about?
So he picks up the snake that he ends up getting and he draws markings on the back of him with a marker, and then it's never shown again. Why? I mean, it's shown on his back, on the snake's back, when he's brought into like the testing facility where they're like trying to communicate with him, the new snakes, the planet snakes, and they're not able to. Like, there's marker drawn all over his back from when Morty did that. Why did he do that?
Was he just trying to make it look like the other snake? Is that
maybe? I don't remember the other snake enough.
I thought he was putting it on paper to like do the size to put it in the spacesuit. No,
maybe, but also he just drew. I think you're right with what you said before. I think it's because he was trying to make it look like the other snake. Yeah. Just be like, go back to your planet.
Basically, so takes the new snake, sends it, leaves it on the planet.
Yeah.
It's introduced to Indiana Jones Snake.
Yeah.
That is like the college professor of linguistics and snake. I loved that like they could have invented this entire language and like text for snakes, but it's just like it's all just S's like in different ways, like different lines.
Snake jazz. Also known as snaz. Thank you, Justin Roiland, for giving me my new favorite genre. And today we're going to be talking about snake jazz.
There's lots of little Easter eggs of things you can see on the snake planet that are just basically an entire human Earth society, but snakes.
Yeah, and then they make real snake Terminator.
They make snake love.
Snerminator.
He snake rapes the Indiana Snake
Was that
Jones.
what was going on? Were they having sex? I thought they were just wrestling. I couldn't tell.
I think they were having sex.
Is that how? Hey, if you're in the comments, can you tell us whether that's how snakes have sex or not?
Please.
I'm sure you would know better than us.
You slut snake. You slut snake.
Slake.
But leave it to them to invent time travel based on the knowledge that there is something bigger out there in their planetary system.
Well, they almost made time travel. Rick got there and he only saw 25% of it was made. They didn't even get to it yet.
Yeah. Well, no, he went back in time to that moment where only 25% of it was made. They did invent the time travel in the end. Because instead of having their society tear itself apart from its seams because of race, they learned that there's something bigger out there that they need to fight against, which is Morty and their world, and they team up together, which is what we need. I mean, you see technology with like war. Technology always advances in war because people all get together to like, oh, fuck this guy, let's kill this country.
See, I believe in the advancement of technology using space.
I believe too, but if there was an alien that was like, hey, in 50 years we're gonna kill all you guys unless you advance,
that would unite
humans
humanity.
Would be like, hey, let's stop being dicks. Oh, your skin's black. Yeah, that doesn't fucking matter right now.
Yeah.
But you know, perception and all of that.
Yeah, but
it's a sad world we live in where people put so much emphasis on the color of skin or how you look. But we'll all be AIs anyway when we all die. But anyway, moving on, the War of the Snakes. They go back in time because he goes to Snake MIT and leaves the book on time travel there. The first thing they do, as MIT students would do, is save Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, of course. I feel like I've never actually read a book in which they talk about doing that, but I feel like every single story that I have heard about time travel has talked about that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you could have saved Lincoln.
And then also, you could have killed Snake Hitler.
Nobody ever talks about the fact that they could have saved Kennedy or Snake Kennedy, but whatever.
You know what? Snake Hitler is more important to kill.
Snake Hitler is pretty important to kill. Sets in motion a gigantic war of snakes and time travel, and they're just popping out everywhere, because if time travel exists and one person's done it, then obviously more than one person's done it.
Absolutely. That one person could do it a billion times too. So that could have all been the same snake for all we know.
Could have all been the same
versions of the snakes.
Robot snake?
Yeah, it's named Snake.
You know what their names were actually?
What? That was
That was all of their names.
That was all of their names.
All of their names was some
version of that.
I liked how their linguistic system is just taking the recording of the snake and then lowering the pitch by a little bit, and that's how they interpreted what it was. Summer is enjoying listening to the snake jazz. That's her jam. And they really talk shit about their friend, but their friend's the smart one.
Yeah, that was, they just took the base writing of teenage girls being mean to each other. Good job.
Isn't it weird how you can introduce one thing to an evolutionary path and completely change it for the worse or better? Shut up, lose weight.
Shut up, lose weight. Well, we're going to talk about your weight later.
Basically.
But and then the Schleemy Pants.
Yeah, so they
Jordan
basically...
Peele, welcome back.
They come up with this plan to shut it down by leaving that there, and they sneak in the snake costumes, so they need future of themselves to drop off the snake costumes and all that kind of stuff. Morty has a black eye, and the way they did it was instead of having them be the ones that invent time travel, they let the snakes invent time travel, so that way they're not influenced by an outside force. They don't hate Earthlings, they just hate themselves.
Yeah.
And then they start completely mass producing throughout space, and then the Shalimi Pants are involved, the time travel cops.
Yeah. I'm glad they brought them back. I'm glad they were using them more often and to see them actually in action that didn't have to do with Rick screwing over the space-time continuum.
And what do? They wipe out the entire civilization by killing the first Neander snake.
Ah, you're using tools, huh? You think you're funny? Yeah.
Kick his ass. Beat him to death.
Yeah, beat him to death.
So that's like the main story. Obviously, we get the end scene after the credits where we learn that they're building the costume. Morty and Rick just want eggnog, but they have to actually fulfill their timeline and build the snake costumes and send them back.
Why, Rick, why do I have a black eye?
Stay in the fucking car. Oh, and we did have to mention the flat tire protocol.
Yeah, the flat tire protocol of just like, oh, I thought it was a clever way to do it. So what do you think it was? Just a broken, engine?
No, it's a flat tire. His tire literally had a hole in it when he's fixing. He's fixing the tire in space. And it's like, well, the other option is to have the celebrity voiceover. It's like, oh, you've got a flat tire. You should be walking.
You should be walking.
Oh, God. Oh,
it was
God.
so good. Good job. I wonder if that wasn't Christopher Walken.
It was a intent to have it be Chris. It was an impression of Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I just wish it was actually. That would make it better.
I wish it was, too. The B storyline is Jerry and the Christmas lights.
Jerry's just an idiot. Honestly, we don't really have to talk about it any further than that.
Rick wants Morty to come with him and stop watching Jerry so he doesn't kill himself. Jerry gets shoes that balance out the weight of the fact that he made him less buoyant than air. So the shoes balance himself out, and immediately when I was like, oh, it's the shoes, not his feet, he's going to lose a shoe. Goes to do a pickup basketball game. And I love how everyone's so woke at the basketball court.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, we don't talk like that. What are you talking about?
This white man can jump. Whoa, racial stereotypes don't have any place on this court.
Hey, I just have a special ability that I'm really proud of. We've got a white supremacist here. Yeah, I don't blame them for thinking that way, though. Cherry's an asshole.
So he jumps, the shoe comes off, he drops his money, and they're like, no, let's leave it there as a subtle yet important lesson to teach our community.
It was like a weird way to teach our community about the importance of ourselves.
I mean, you're going to duct tape a banana to the wall and call it, all right, you can leave money and a shoe.
It means more, though.
So Jerry's trip to the sky, getting pecked by seagulls, and we're introduced to some of the craziest technology we've seen in the show. This is absolutely morbid. Is
the freezing.
The fungal... thing with the DNA.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What did he create?
Hey, Beth, we will devour your planet.
Then it just melts it.
Like, and then they kill it.
Do you think this is one of those things where it's like a Chekhov's gun where it's going to come back later? Do you think this might come back later? I think it will.
At this point, I don't think anything's ever going to come back later.
I believe that them introducing that kind of thing into the world, like, come on.
The only thing that keeps coming back are the brandable things.
Yeah.
So the Mr. Meeseeks box, they're selling them.
Yeah.
It's going to come back.
Yeah.
The Plumbus comes back. And that was another thing. We got a Plumbus recall.
Yeah,
in
there was a Plumbus commercial.
No, in this episode,
today,
when Morty sneaks out, it's like, a Plumbus. Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one in their house.
He takes the fleekum out of his pocket and rubs it on the schmelchum.
I would buy this.
Yeah,
I'd buy this. Devour the world.
You don't have a Plumbus. Oh, you'd buy this.
Yeah, I'd buy the abomination that Rick created.
Buy the abomination. Ironically, it's funny that the commercials from Intergalactic TV have pushed products as if they are commercials and have probably made them a lot of money as if they were commercials.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's kind of terrifying. He finally climbs down a tree. Yeah. Develops an app, climbs down a tree, grabs a stone, and goes into the worst bar he could have gone into.
Yeah. Don't bring in that rock. Don't bring in that boulder.
Drop the rock. Well, there's kind of a lot of fan blades in here.
He deserved it.
Take your girlfriend, too.
It just makes you curious about where that town was, where they actually picture that town being. Do you think that was Colorado? Boulder? Perhaps?
I mean, it seemed more like Los Angeles. I'm not allowed to bring the rock anywhere. Aw, bad joke. Cool. The tree, the rock, the bar. Yeah. And then he gets onto a plane.
Yeah, and he's holding on by his fingers. I'm surprised he didn't fall. That looked very painful.
All the blood that they had coming out of it.
Yeah, and then he had the snake human trying to save him, and he was like, no.
So he kills an entire plane full of people to save himself because Jerry has to prove himself without calling Rick.
Jerry just doesn't even understand the weight of anything that he ever does.
No.
Will you get tired? Are you tired of Jerry? I'm tired of Jerry.
I think this season he's been pretty highlighted. Let's look through our notes, right? So last
These are
episode,
the past 4 episodes.
Claw and Hoarder, Special Victims Unit, A storyline, Rick and Morty. B storyline, Talking Cat storyline with Jerry.
Yeah.
Rattlestar, Ricklactica, A storyline, Morty leaves the ship, the snakes in their world. B storyline, Jerry and the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
One crew over the Cuckoo's Morty, that's the only one here that does not have Jerry as their B plot. The B plot in this one is just Morty's ambition. And then when we go through Old Man in the Seat, obviously you can look whether it's Rick or Jerry in the A plot, but half of the episode is Jerry.
Yeah, and it's shared with the Globofin.
Gluty.
Yeah, and then later on the Globofin. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the seat.
Still, that was the after scene, but still Jerry.
Yeah.
Like, this has been a very Jerry-heavy season.
And I'm wondering if they're just like, I mean, they did say that they didn't want to go more towards the, they didn't want to do what they've been doing. They wanted to do more of whatever they wanted to do with the series.
What about the first episode of the season? We didn't go over that because I don't have the notes in front of me. That was...
Yeah, that was, gosh. Gonna make me remember this now. This is a great show, folks.
No, it's the one where he's jumping through and reincarnating constantly.
Oh yeah, okay.
Was Jerry a big plot point in that? I know Summer had her thing.
I want to believe that he probably was a part of it at some point because I think that was where we were introduced to his character being kind of a dunce this season.
Yeah.
But no, I honestly don't remember.
Well, so much for us being fans.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
Super fans.
Should we be hosting this show? Probably not.
Probably
but
not.
You know what? This isn't the episode.
No.
And we are.
The after show.
And if you need two white guys with beards and glasses talking about Rick and Morty,
we're the place to go.
Aside from the 10.8 billion other people on this planet and basically their entire viewer base, you got us.
You got us.
You got us. I'm so sorry.
Cheers to that.
Where can we find you, Vito?
If you want to find me and hiss at me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at VScutty. That's at VSCUTTI. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, hit that thumbs down if you're an asshole, and hit that thumbs up if you thought that we did a mediocre job. We'll see you guys next time on the Rick and Morty After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. Bye.
Goodbye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.